Okay, so let's start today with some wrap up and also some tips that I would like to share with all five coders, especially if you want to work for a complex project that involve a lot of dependencies and a framework that may cause conflict, or if you want to fork a dependency into another one. Okay, want to work together, but sometimes when working with AI, it doesn't turn out like you expect or you have planned it would be. At the time, you have to have some protocols or certain workflows that you must strategically and strictly follow. All right, to not fall into the pitfalls that I have experienced. Okay, so let's talk about what happened. Okay, for previous day. Okay, because I didn't record it, but let me brief of what I have experienced. All right, so that I'm trying to have bug editor. Okay, so you know bug editor already. Okay, that is okay. In fact, if you haven't, it is. I want to fork this page editor into payload CMS because right now it is just an individual page builder without any content management system, or if you want to extend the capabilities and if you want to replace the boring editor of the um, payload CMS, there is an official builder, or the visual builder is also not running with the latest page load, so that's why. At first, I think it's very simple that you just configure and transform some of the field uh, per editor to have it work under admin, all right? But at time go, and you also can see some of the images. Yeah, in the latest videos, you will see it experience nested forms, hydration arrows. So what it is, the nested form is that like in HTML or in React, when you have two forms loaded under one React DOM, it will conflict and create some of the runtime errors. Like for example, if you have a form in this builder and you click on submit, for example. Okay, for example, like a customer want to create a form in the builder and want to submit it, and when I hit submit of or any button or any props here that have submit function, it will initiate the payload button instead of the bug builder. Right, so this is like the errors of a nested form. At first, I think it can do some like hack or override, and which means I tried with many different debugs. I have a record of what I have done here. Alright, so this is let me trace back to the document. And I would share some tips that I have experienced so far. Okay, so where's the debug archive things? Yeah, this bug checker. Alright, so last night I used cursor and tried with many different attempts to override the nested forms with using like I override the API of Perk editor, and even I try to use CSS to manipulate that hydration, but it's all failed. um, okay, so the first lesson that I would like to draw for today's sessions is that when you are in bad moods, that it's not just you, but it's kind of very superstitious. But when you draw bad energy and you would try to do it at own cost, usually it comes out to be a failure. For me, I think it best that you sit back and see, do some pre-work first, like planning, asking around, or looking back into the documentations of the stacks to see what is what. Okay, don't wait until too late. Like myself, trying a hack and slash kind of things with monkey patches. It is not going to work. Um, so you can see so many hack and override and many batches, but it is not gonna work. So which come to the root cause analysis. Why we come to this? Um, it is another lesson to learn is that you don't depend too much on uh, AI or any agentic platform. Even cursor with blending isn't safe at all. If you really want to develop something complex, you should have a framework. You can choose between BMAT, uh, OpenSpec, or SpecKit, or whatever you can choose. But you need to strictly obey on that framework. Okay, which means like, okay, I'm gonna have to break it down first. I haven't planned. If the plan get into trouble, which are the route or alternative that I would have to go to. So that's why, in which case, uh, I'm lucky that I realized that root cause analysis, okay, about nested form, and I immediately jump right into, you know, perplexity. Okay, when I get this one analysis, I will ask perplexity to trace back into the stacks documentation, the official guide, to validate whether these bullet points of analysis are accurate or not. Okay, so first thing I gotta confirm is that um, payload CMS, when they organize all of the fields. Okay, so these are the fields like title, slug, status, etc. And this is like the editor view. Um, it will wrap everything into one form. Okay, so I'm wondering, can we just isolate the form? The editor view of payload, and not having it to render inside of a form. Okay, that is my question. Okay, because like at the time I always thought about uh, what is a quickie, what is a quick way to overcome this. um, all right, and also for perk, uh, it also grab its property. I mean, like all of the fields, the inspector panels that have fields that you can adjust the values, the configuration. Right? So they also wrap everything into form. But yeah, like two nested form can't be together. Okay. So when I validate that is accurate, I think like don't we have any other way? Okay, so you have to ask questions to think of like what are the solution. For the vibe coder, I think it is best that you know how to look at the from the high level overview from the architecture aspect, okay, to solve the problems because for coding, I think AI is really sophisticated in solving the problems in coding, but in terms of architectures, they don't really understand how you use different concepts of the dependencies of the library to have them work together. Okay, so I'm asking questions. Um, all right, so not wrapping it from right. So can we have that? But then when I mean like I use Gemini, right? When Gemini checked with payload CMS, which means if I isolate the editor view um, and not wrapping it in the payload CMS form, meaning I will lose some of like the CMS features, autosave, like drag and publish, which is very essential if I want to use this as a page splitter, an editor within payload CMS, right? So yeah, which means comes another solution. Okay, so we have to build the builder. Okay, so we have to just use pod editor for its I would say feature, but we can't just use the frame, the builder that already built by Bird. We have to build it um, not really from the class, but all of the front end aspect of the React components that make the beautiful the editor form and frame and everything needs to be reviewed. Okay. Yeah, and then it leads to a solution which is really instances that I have to clean up on what I have built and modify again. Alright, but this also no shortcut that you need to get into stages. Okay, at first I just jam everything into my one really lengthy prompt and wish everything get done by AI, which is not very wise. Okay, so you need to break it down first, even with a framework. So first I need to refactor the code base. I mean, like, okay, it's okay to have the builder set up with nested form, but at least I need to have any other noise cancelled out. I get the code cleaned and the architecture organized into some sort of hierarchy, and you know it is the best practice. Also, which means you should include these like the list of rules that you should have in your guidebook or in your rules setup the code base. Alright, so about the length of the course, it should never be more than 500 lines. Okay, no long methods. If you have something, or if you have one function that too lengthy with too many ifs, you should break it down. Okay, sometimes when coding with AI, they would have unused imports, unused variables, or dead code. Okay, so you should have this one. You should run it sometime to check, to split the code into smaller modules. Yeah, these are really important. So I get everything cleaned up first. Okay, and you can see here, it's get deleted many things out of the very dirty state. Okay, so when everything get into the clean state, alright, so why it doesn't save any of the story here? Okay, I'm sorry I didn't, because I didn't save the last workflow, but I mean like more than 12 files of code and hundreds of code lines get removed. Alright, but once it's get removed, I still have, you know, the default block editor loaded into the forms, and it still calls nested arrow. Okay, nested form arrow. However, now everything is clean, and the context. So my next thing is that your context must be clear. There would be no noise because before you stop something else upon it. Okay, so even when you want to debug, you need to get everything clean. There's only bugs that you want to target there. All right, so that is like one I've learned. Yeah, and once I get it done, I will restart. Oh, not restart, but I will have a quick workflow. Okay, which in PMAT is called quick spec flow. Yeah. To plan everything else. Okay, I at the time I used Opus 4.5, but this is a new one. So I need to generate the spec for everything. Okay, I need to debug from a clean state. And yes, when everything debug and clean, this is the result. Okay, this is the result that, okay, so no longer nested arrows, though there's validation, but now it's work. The text and heading editors work. Okay, so you can have an inline one. Okay, so my computer is type low. Okay, so it's work expectedly. Then you turn to headings. Yeah. So that is, now everything is clean. Okay, everything else is just decorative and styling. Okay, but now the core is really joined and everything is clean. Code is clean. Contact is clean. Okay, so that is what I want to say today.